Okay. So now, a one-on-one session with Funmi. So now, what we want to try to look at now is market structure. One of the key, one of the strategies that I trade now. I do not trade most of the other ones that I know. Even I try to use this structure because it's really very, very powerful. Now, by structure, what do we mean? We mean it's really what it is. Structure. Market creates a pattern. It creates a structure. Areas where it reacts. It has reaction. It takes actions. Areas where it reverses. Areas where it breaks. You would see areas where it consolidates. Areas where it just forms some form of reaction. That's what it is saying. Like for instance, if you look at this, there's a structure in this. Let me take out this bubble because it's gonna get in the way. Where are you now? Okay, take this off. So by structure, you can already see something happening here. If you look at this, you can see lines forming here. This thing came down here, it went back up, came down here, went back up, came down here. So this is some reaction in the market. It means that there's something around this area that is giving market concern. Something around this area. Because if you notice, it keeps coming there and going back, coming down there and going back. So there's really something around here. So this is now, if you draw it across, you will notice that the same market keep having that kind of structure. I mean, that kind of reaction every time it gets there. It won't break this. It went up, it came back down, went up, came back down. For some reason, it was able to break through. And when it broke through, it came and retested. Now, one thing I want you to also understand in the market is this. Every time market breaks a particular area of interest, a particular zone, you know it in your basics, it breaks a particular zone, a particular area, a particular support or resistance, it will always come back to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it was a supply zone, if it broke a supply zone, it will come back to that supply zone to become a demand zone. So just like if it broke support, it's going to come back and probably become resistance. Or if it breaks resistance, it's going to come back and become support. Yep. So for instance, now look at what happened here. This market came up. It broke this. I can call this resistance. You can say this was resistance, right? Market came in, it broke resistance at this point. Yep, it broke resistance at this point. How did we know? Because it did this, and then look at this big candle, broke it. And then what did it do? It came back to that same resistance. So now it was resistance, now it has become support. Remember, when it comes down, it's support. When it goes up, it's resistance. So once it breaks it, it will always come back to test it. So most times you will hear me say, put something like write a retest, something like that. I think if you look at my chart, you will normally see me do that. So it means that it has come back to retest that zone. And now the structure says that every time it comes back to do that, every time market does that, price does that, sorry. Well, I call it price, I call it market, whichever one. So every time price comes back and retests the zone, we always know that it will always jump.
Yeah.
It will jump.
Yeah.
So most times when we see price break a particular zone, we are happy. Not that we want to jump in. Some people can jump in immediately they see it break, but the trouble with that, you don't know how
it will come back down.
It might come back and enter back, and then you lose that trade. So we are always happy because we know that it's going to come back and retest it. So we can once it breaks, we can put a pending order at this point in this line. Look at the price. The price is 131.839. Immediately breaks it and closes above, and then forms the next candle. We can say, okay, let's put our pending order. What would be the pending order in this respect? Buy limit. Buy limit. Buy limit. Why buy limit? Because
go back up.
Because it's going back up. So it's coming back. When it comes down, we want it to come and take our order that we placed there and then take us up. So buy limit. So we'll place a pending order, buy limit pending order here on this line, sorry, because we don't know whether it's going to come here, whether it's going to retest here, or whatever, but we just know that we're going to place a pending order on this line with this price, 131.839. Yep. So if this price came back to this point, it would have picked our pending order. Then, but what do we notice? We keep noticing it went up quite all right. How many pips did it give us? If we were trading on the daily chart, that's a whooping. Even if we wanted to take profit from here, from this point, the next time it went up, that's 131 pips. That's not so bad if you're trading on the daily chart, So that's that one. But it came up totally came up as high as this place, But what did you notice? It kept hitting this place. We were not expecting this to happen. We expected it to just hit and then go up. But nobody knows what price would do most times, So, but what did you notice? It kept hitting that. If we stayed in this market, if we believe that this is still going to go up, if we stayed based on structure, by structure, what did we mean? What do we mean? Based on, it needs to go to where it went to. If it breaks up, it's going to the next zone or the next support. Remember? So if it breaks up, it will always go to the next. That's why you have to first of all identify your support and resistance lines, identify your zones to know where the market is going to turn, where it's going to get to at every point in time. So in this chart now, if I wanted to identify my supports and resistance lines or my zones, first of all, remember what I talked about the first day. I try to go to my daily charts. So I first of all identify maybe where my let me put this like this so I can know where my low is. The lowest point of that market could be here. Could just put this here. It's fine. I don't really need this far.
The wick or the body?
Okay. Let me give you my cheat code. I tend to use this guy here.
The line
chart. Yeah, if I use my line chart, it will not capture the wicks. Yep.
Okay.
It won't capture it. If I just do that, this is where it's going to give me. So now I can see this in the market. Then I can see something else happen here too. Some reaction. So I can see something. I can just put this so that, why do I want to put that? Because I want it to coincide to capture this, and to still have some form of reaction here. So the whole idea is, from what I'm trying to do, is to find the zone. Remember, support and resistance is not necessarily a line per se. It's because my own support, maybe somebody else's this thing support too, but then not too close to mine. Somebody else can decide to use wicks instead of so instead of me saying this is where it is, I could just pick it as a zone. So it means if it comes back to that zone, or if it comes close to that zone, I can take my profit, or I can do whatever it is. And my mind is just like, I'm looking for it around that area. I'm not really looking for at a particular line. I might not just say 115.829. It could be 115.800. It could be 11.
Hello. Oh, great. I can't hear you. Hello.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
The connection went off. I need to complain to this. I've been having this issue.
Is that EE or Talk?
No, it's BT. It's BT even.
My name. Please.
Okay. So now I can see this reaction here. That if I look, what I want to do, I want to find out where price is at this point in time. That's always my goal. So this is where price is.
Yes.
So I can see that happen. Can see a reaction here. Can see a reaction here. So I see something happen here. I see something happen here. I see something. It means that this zone, this area, is quite important to price. Why price kept reacting around there, right? That's what it is. So I've already identified. I can identify some other place around. You see, I see something happen here. If I look left, I see something. So I know that maybe around this side, it is relevant to price. See what I'm just trying to find out where price went in and turned. Where it got to and turned. If I increase the size now, maybe because I'm looking at the chart, you may not really.
No, I see it.
Okay, you see, right? So it's even better because if you look at the candle, you see a lot of noise. You can't really tell
with the line
so much
of
weight. The lines just show clearly what happened. So with this, you can easily see it went up, it turned, it went up, it turned, it went up. So it means it's very important. It came here, it touched it and went up. So it's just reacting around here. You know, that's really what it means. So it means if it leaves this.
Hello.
So if it leaves this place, the next place it's going to is this up here. So I'm going to identify that because that's where I can also see another form of reaction, in the market. So that's really what it is. It's just identifying areas of reaction in the markets. So that is the area of reaction again. So they may not necessarily be a particular line. I just know that that's the zone, that's the area where price had some form of reaction. So even though if I just choose, I can choose to put a line there. If I, choose, let me put a line here as well, because those lines will also be a guide for me as well. You see? So I have those three zones. So if it leaves here, it's coming here. If it leaves here, it's coming here. Now, this is on my weekly chart. So whatever I'm doing now, I should be doing it within these zones. So if for some reason it drops lower than this, I know that it's coming probably somewhere here because that's where I saw reaction. You see, I see reaction here, right? Some form of reaction here. I can bring this up so it will touch this one. Maybe I see something happen here. I see something happen here. I see something happen here. I see that maybe it's close here. So if it leaves this zone, where is it coming to? Here.
The 127.
Exactly. So I may decide to draw another rectangle. What am I trying to? All I'm just trying to do is just to identify zones. If it leaves that place, there are some reaction around here to capture that too. Somewhere around here.
There's one a bit down, no?
I can see one here. You know why? Because there's one here. It touches here too. It touches here. So that area too is some reaction, And again, if you notice, so it went up as well, came down. So all of that is I could just use that as my reactions, So if it leaves here, it's coming down. If it leaves here, it's probably coming to this next side, this next one. But before it gets there, it's going to take maybe months because we're on the weekly chart. So why am I on the weekly chart? I just want to identify the overall or the global picture of what price is doing or where price can get to if it's going to go there, move long term. So after doing that, I can decide to come down to my daily chart to see things a bit, bring it closer to see it clearly. I see that, okay, I'm still within a good place because I can see price coming here, reacting here. I can see price coming here. So I may even come down to my 4-hour chart because I may not, like you and I, we may not trade the weekly charts. We would always look for things on the lower time frame where to enter. So coming here now shows me something else. I can clearly see some reaction, more reaction. Remember, the lower you go into your chart, the noisier it gets, the more reactions you get. But you don't want to go too low. At least the highest you want to go to
1 hour.
Charting is 1 hour. So you can see things a bit more with a bit more detail. So if I do that, I can say, okay, I can see some reaction around here. I can see some things happening around here. Why? Because I noticed price came here, touched, crossed, it came here, touched, some reaction around here. So I can draw that as my zone. I can draw that as my zone. Why? Because I want to make sure that it captures all of this area. So not just necessarily that line alone. Because that line other people could be picking their profit from here. others will be picking from here. But I just want to make sure that I know the area it is going to. So I may even decide to pick my profit before it gets here, maybe around here. You see? So that way I'm cool, I'm okay. So that's that one. So now it means that where price is now, it can do several things. It can decide to break this low. It has room to come down. You know, that's what it means. It has room to come down. It has room to come down. It has room to break this and come down to this next. So if it breaks this, what is it going to do? It's going to come down to this next zone. If it leaves this place and it's going on, where is it going to get? It's going to get here. If it leaves here, where is it going to next? It's going to this place. Because those are the places I've identified on the charts. Yep. So that's really now with this now decide, okay, I think with what I'm seeing, I think price may even still be able to go up a bit more. So I may even decide to say, okay, maybe I'll just draw another line here, you know, to still capture this area. There's no crime. There's nothing that let me see. What you're trying to do, just to also make sure that you pick areas where you're going to take profit at, because those are the places that price would reverse. So you can draw line there. You know that we may leave here. We know that the overall place is going to get to maybe here, right? But in order for us not just to stay in the market forever, what we're looking for is 10 to 20 pips. We just want to capture the closest zones. So we just want to capture the closest places that price gets to before it gets to that long-term place that we know it's going to get to. Because we know that if it lives here now, if it's going to go up, if it lives here, where is it getting to? It's probably going to go here. That's 226, 262. And we know that before it gets to 262 pips, probably 2-3 days or 1 week, you know. But some of us don't trade, don't stay in the market for that long. So we just need that. It needs to do some movements. We just need those small movements. That's what we're looking for. So from here now, we know that it may get to this part, and that's how many pips for us now. From here now, not bad. That's 80 pips.
900 and something.
No, it's 91. 91 pips.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
Point.
Yeah, sorry.
It's 91 pips. So that's where we're looking for our next zone. So now, if we wanted to trade this, we could just say, okay, this one now, we know that from here is going up. And then when it goes up, the same thing it did here, it keeps going up and dropping, going up and dropping, it keeps going up and dropping. So we expect this to either go up, touch that zone, and then drop back to where it came from. You know? Or, you see, because it was... or three things can happen. It can go up and drop back down. It can go up and break this. Yep.
Yeah.
Break that. Remember structure. It needs to, every time it breaks a zone or a support, it will always come back and retest, right?
Yeah.
And then it will go back up, which is what we know that is what price action. That's what price normally does. Price action. It will break a zone, come back and retest, or do a pullback, you know, then jump up. Like, look at what happened here. It broke this. Yeah. What did you see? You see, it got to a last zone, then it came back down. Also, when it came back down, because of whatever happened, it decided to come back inside the... So they might even call this a false breakout. What have you, all of these false breakouts? You know, because they didn't really... What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to break out, retest, and then continue. But once they don't continue, if we wanted to trade this, I would have entered this market at this point. But then what would have happened? I would have put my stop loss just below here. You know, so I expect this to jump. But if it doesn't jump, it will take me out on a small loss. You know, why? Because I know that price is supposed to come back, retest, and go back up. But if it doesn't do that, it will bring me out. That's why you know that you can't win every trade.
That's correct.
Just because it is price action, it doesn't mean that it's going to be win every time. It will fake out. If you do this kind of thing now, to jump up, then instead of it retesting and going up, it may do this. You know, so that's what we understand. Now, this is another thing. It's supposed to break. This is another one. It's supposed to break, go and retest, and then drop.
Yeah.
But they did not. It actually did retest and drop, but then it did a little fake out. It overdid. See this.
So those thinking it was bullish.
Yeah. So some people will now say, "Oh Lord." Now the thing is this. This is supposed to take some people out in their stop losses, because some people will enter this and put their stop loss here. You know, so it will pick out some people's stop loss. Now, so for some people, when they see this happen, when they see this breakout, they would say, okay, it's going to be bullish. So they would enter here as well. Either they will enter, by the time they enter and chase the market, before they know, the thing will fall. And then the people here would lose money. Yep, because why? The thing has come down. So everyone that entered at this point will lose money. Now, people that would have thought, okay, by the time it comes, it broke, it comes back here and retests. They would enter the market here, and they were expecting the market to go up. What did price do? Price came down. So, but if you were trading this market and you kept your stop loss maybe somewhere around here, the next zone, so you would have won this market because it came down, it broke out, it didn't touch your stop loss. Then finally, and the massive drop it did all the way from where you probably entered. That's 200 plus pips. So, but most times you will not always know this, but the idea is just to understand market structure, how markets operate. I don't use stop loss. This trade, I won't have lost it. I wouldn't have lost this trade. Why wouldn't I have lost this trade? Because it will have come up, nothing to hit, then come back down.
It's gone down.
But I would have taken my profit at this point. Why? Because that's my next zone, remember? My next zone and my next line.
Do you usually, when you've highlighted the zone, do you usually just take it at the tip or inside, or?
When it gets to that tip, I'm out.
Okay.
When it gets to that tip, I'm out of the market.
Gotcha.
I may be out of the market, or I can do two things. Two things. Move my stop loss to that point. Maybe like I'm willing to lose maybe 10 pips. So I can move my stop loss to maybe, if it was a 200 pip move, I can move it to 190 pips. Let the 10 pips run and see what's going to happen. If it comes, it's fine. I can keep moving my stop loss, or I can do a trailing stop loss as well. The same thing, so that it can move with the price. But I know that by the time it came here, it would have kicked me out from this point, because it would have retraced, see it coming back. It would have come to this. My trailing stop loss probably have been somewhere around here. Then it would have kicked me out before even it coming this far. But although if I didn't even use the stop loss altogether, and I had my zone, maybe I felt it was going to go to this next zone, I would have entered, I would have stayed, and then look at what happened. It would have come here, come so low, but not come to this point.
It would have been.
I would have been upset. Why? Because I would have not taken profit, thinking it's going to come here. But what did it do? It went back up. So that's why you don't have to catch all the things in the markets. It's not everything. Just take what you can take and leave the market alone, because this is what can happen if you don't leave the market alone. Look at where you entered from. You entered from here. You wanted this to give you your TP here, but you didn't take profit. You waited till it got here. But when it got here, you were thinking it's going to come down to this point. But for some reason it didn't, and you were not even watching the trade. What did it do? It came back all the way back to your entry. It got back to your entry, even came down. You didn't even take the profit again. Came all the way back. It now hit your, because this is where you probably kept your stop loss, if you even kept at all. Or for some reason you decide to keep it. It will have taken you out. But if you didn't keep stop loss as well, this is where you could have taken profits. You can still come back to that your area, where you had your entry. So it's still good for you to stay in the market for that long. If you are, let's say you were a swing trader, if you were a swing trader, maybe you entered the trade and you were thinking it's going to come down this far. It may still come this far, but it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. Let me see how many days it took for this to come. From where it was from here, it took 19 days. So some of you will not want to keep one trade position for 19 days. I wouldn't keep a position for 19 days.
Yeah, for me right now, I think, well, not 19 days, but even a week is fine for me, because I don't have time.
So you can leave a trade for a week. Let it run for a week. That's not bad, as long as you know where it's going to. Like this kind of trade now, if it's moving, you look at things on the daily charts. So we'll see it. We know that this is what price is doing. Price has gotten to this point, it's rejected this, so we see it coming down. So it's tumbling. let me see. Let's look at it clearly now, so you know. So this market actually, if you look at it, it's actually a bullish market. It's on it.
Yeah.
It's an uptrend.
Upward trend.
Yeah, it's looking like an upward trend. But look at what's happening. It got to this. This is where it got to the last time. It got to this point the last time. When did it get here? The last time it got here was in 2000 and
well,
2015. You know, but 3 years ago was when it got here. So now we are look at what is happening right now. We are expecting what we are expecting in this market to eat soon. Why? It's got into that the key resistance zone. You know, it's a key supply zone. Why? Because it got there, and for some reason it kept tumbling. It couldn't do anything. So we are expecting the same thing to happen here. It has gotten to this point. It took how many years? 3 years to get to that point. You know, so it's tumbling down again. It's doing the same thing that it did here. Look at that price action. You know, see what it did here. It got to that point, then it tumbled. So now it's doing the same thing. It's finally tried to get to that point again. You know, what's up? Got to that point. So what are you seeing?
And it's at the same point it touched.
Exactly. So it's coming down again. So we can say that this market is having a bearish momentum. It's coming down.
Yeah.
So you want to enter this market. When you want to trade this market, just make sure that you have your good entry. So if you had entered from here, good for you, because you would have had a lot of pips out of it.
Like the EC, you were saying you didn't enter properly. You didn't shake any. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, sometimes like I would enter a trade. Maybe like this is it. If I was at this point, if I saw this when this was moving, I jumped in at this point. That was a terrible entry. Why? Because I didn't wait for price to proper pullback before I jump in. I just saw it. Maybe okay. Let me see, because this is really what I did. I saw this action happening.
1 hour time frame.
Yeah, I know. So this is what I did. I saw this coming. I was like, ooh, nice one. It's coming. So I jumped in.
Engulfing? That's an engulfing candle, right? No?
Yeah, it is. So you don't jump in on this candle. You don't jump in as it's coming down. Remember, you always wait for it to do a pullback. So this is where you would have entered this market if you would have waited for all of this to happen. Because if you entered at this candle here, see this pullback here, you know, it has come back to your entry. You're at the minus at this point. So just wait for it to come up. You can even use that Fibonacci. That's where the Fibonacci comes into play.
I don't know.
That one, we'll look at that as well. So if you were using Fibonacci, if you wanted to trade this, what you want to do is just identify the highest points of the price, you know, before the pullback. Now, this is what you want to trade this move. This move is what we want to trade. So, and this is the lowest points price got to before it started to retrace. We saw this happening. We didn't chase it. We let it move. So we put our what's it called? Our line here. Let me change the color of that line. You need two lines. You need the highest
and the lowest. Question.
The lowest.
So sometimes, what is the lowest candle? Could the lowest candle be a green candle, or would it necessarily be a red candle?
No, the lines, okay, yeah, I get what you mean. The lowest candle could be any candle. It could be any, as long as, now what you're talking about, why it's lower is where it got to and reacted and moved. Normally, I think it will normally be a red candle if you're coming from up. You know, if you're coming from up, it will drop something, then move. It will drop, then form. Sometimes, okay, look at how it works. You have one big candle coming. It may drop at one point. Then on the next candle opens above it. Above that candle. The next candle can actually open below it, but it opens as a red going up. So, sorry, it opens as a green going up. So the red candle comes down. The next candle that is supposed to form could be a red, and the red just opens as a red, a small candle. The next candle that opens after that opens as a green, but then is lower than it. This is what I mean. You have this happen, a green candle coming down. Yep. So the next candle that forms is another green candle. Sorry, what am I saying? Red candle. A red candle coming down. The next candle that forms was a green candle, and it started going up. The next candle that forms is another green candle. It's going up. The next candle that forms another green candle is going up. You know. So another thing that can happen is a red candle comes down. You know, quite all right. The next candle that forms is another red candle coming down, but it ends halfway. The next candle that now forms is a green candle going up. Okay. Another candle that forms is a green candle that is going up. So the idea is to find the lowest candle. It could be a green here. I mean a red here. Then green, but this is as long as this is the lowest. It could be. You understand? So as long as it's the lowest,
I just wanted, because sometimes I confuse myself saying, okay, because it's the lowest, it's supposed to be a red.
The color doesn't really matter. Let me just get this out of the way, because okay, let me leave that there. I'll attend to it later. So this is the lowest candle here. It's a red candle. It doesn't really matter. The color doesn't matter. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for. I can decide. You know, now before let me not trade on this candle. Let me just do the right thing. It's supposed to actually be the highest candle on that
which is the red. I was thinking.
Well, you can do it here from here. Why? Because there was a candle on this side as well, a green candle on this side. But then I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to take it from the highest point of that move, the move that came down. You know, so I take it from there, from the highest point of that move to the lowest point of that move. So what will I do? I will pick up my Fibonacci and draw it from there to here. What am I looking for? And remember Fibonacci, if it's a bearish market, you take it from the top. If it's a bearish market, you take it from the top to the bottom. If it's a bullish market, maybe you're looking for a retracement. You want the market that you're looking for is a market that would continue down. Right? So the market is supposed to go up and then continue down. So you take it from up. So if the market is supposed to go up, so you take it from down, so that the retracements come down, then it continues. You get the idea. The market is coming down. Yep. So you're looking for where the market is going to pull back to. Yep. Before coming down. So that's why your Fibonacci will be taken from up to know where the pullback would be before they move down.
Like a reversed.
Yeah.
Thing.
So that said, sorry, let me just find out where this madam is. Sorry. Hello? I'm on a call. Where are you? Okay, all right, then I'll see you. Okay. So it will normally, because the market is coming down, so we want to take it from up to down. We want to take it from up here to down. Now, if the market was a bullish market, it was going up. So we want to know where the retracement is going to be, or the pullback is going to get to, you know, before going up. So we use it we'll draw it from here. Yep. On top of it, then we see where it's going to get to, so that it will go up. You understand that, right?
So if it's going up, you take it from the bottom. If it's going down,
take it from the top. Yep, absolutely. That's it. Absolutely. Let me just get these things out of the way. So you take it from the top because it's going down. So now what are we looking for? We're looking for where the market is going to pull back at. You know, so normally we know that there are key areas, there are key zones that the price pulls back at. Areas like the 23, areas like the 38, areas like the 50, areas like the 61. And mind you, these are all hidden support and resistance lines. They are really nothing but support and resistance lines. So we know that sometimes the price might get to 38, being 23 before pulling down. We know that it might get to 38 before pulling down. We know that it can get to 50. But one other thing that we know that price does is this. Every time there's a giant move down, price will always give you 50% retracement before continuing or pullback. But that's not a rule that stands all the time, because sometimes it pulls back at 23%, it pulls back at 38%. But what you're really looking for to ensure that you enter at the right time in the market is to find out where price forms the next high. Remember what you're looking for. Remember what I talked about the first time, that when I gave you the stuff, this is your A. Your A is the highest point of the chart.
Is the highest.
A is the highest point or the lowest point, whichever one that if you're doing a bullish market, your A is the lowest point. Remember you're taking it from ground. So because you're doing a bearish market, so that's your A. This would be your B. Why your B? Because it's the lowest point of the market. Yep. So we're looking for our C. Your C would be where price got to. Your pullback place, where the highest place it got to before making that retracement, or that fall. So it may get to 38. Like now, it is at the 38. It can get to 50. It can get to 61. So what I would normally do, like when we traded AJ today, that gave we used Fibonacci, what we were looking for was a giant candle like this coming down. A giant candle like this, because this is a retracement. It's gotten to this. Look at what it's doing now. It has gotten to this C. Now we can say that, okay, the highest point that this price can go to is 38. You see, before pullback. So we can say that this is the last point. It may not go up again. But how can we be sure? Until we see a giant candle, a large candle fall.
Yeah.
We may not enter on that large candle, might enter on the next candle. One thing. So that's one way of looking at it. You may let that candle finish forming, because every time you have a giant candle or a large candle or an engulfing candle move, it means that there's momentum. There is strength in that move. So it means it has a tendency to keep going down. If it was going up, like look at this thing. Look at that giant candle that moved up. Or you can look at this one. Look at this one. You see that it's a large candle. It's considerably large candle. It went up. This one tried to see if it can bring it down, but it wasn't able to. It tried to bring it down even the more, but because we already see this large candle, we were confident that this is going to move. Because if you notice what's happening, chop small candles, small candles. Look at here again. Look at what happened here. A large candle, a golfing candle. What did you see? It was now going up. The next thing we saw, okay, because if you look at this, the momentum started reducing. It kind of tried to push up a bit, but then we already see that since we started throwing pins like this, the bearish guys the bears were already taking control of the market. But at one point, you now saw a large candle form again. That means that the bulls are trying to take over again. We would enter the market. Yep. So even though this guy came out, it wasn't. We wanted to wait and see what is going to happen. On the next one, we saw the bearish market, but the bulls took over. The next one again, we saw another giant candle. We are just confident that this is just going to keep happening. So when it jumped up on the next one, we saw a bearish candle forming. The next one, and they saw another big candle. We knew that the bears are taking over. Now this is another bullish candle happening, but then we are not convinced that the bears' strength have been depleted. We just wait and watch. The next thing we saw was this giant candle. We will sell, or we will keep selling. Now we are seeing bullish candle forming small. This is just consolidation as far as I'm concerned, because there's no strength. There's really no strength in the market. So this is just consolidation. Okay, we just keep calling it pullback or whatever, wherever. We don't know where it's going to get to. Now look at this. It formed that this market, we are not sure it's finished yet. So we won't trade it yet. We won't jump in yet. So wait to see what would really, remember what I said, we're looking for a large candle to form to the downside.
Yeah.
So that has not formed yet. We won't jump in. Yep.
And
Wait and
how
watch.
many letters usually would you get? A, B, C, D, E? No?
ABC. So D will be the last point it's gonna get to. That's D is the TP or the target. And normally we can use different things to find D. We could use retracement to find D. Expansion. The same thing. We just draw that, put it here below the last place it got to, the lowest point of the graph of the price that we identified. And then now the reason why we draw retracement is if we are sure that this is where the price is going to turn back at. Once you have identified that this is your C, this may not be your C. Why? Because this thing might go up again. So if it comes up to this point, that will be your C, your
so you
potential
just
C.
keep moving it.
Moving it till it becomes your potential C. So if that's your C, you see that giant candle fall. The next one you can do is to use your flag. Remember, we treated flag. So you draw that to capture that pole. Then you now draw this. You keep capturing the market as it's going. Keep capturing it. Keep it in that flag. Let it keep going. If it goes up here, drag it there. Yep. If it gets to this point, drag it there. You know what you're looking for in the market. You want to see this candle fall, or preferably a large candle break out of that flag coming down. That's your confirmation. When it breaks out, you won't enter on that one. Remember what I said. Don't always enter on that first impulse. Enter on the next candle. Let it close below this. Sometimes you may find out that it just drops. Then just forget about it. You don't want to chase the market. Let it go. But to be sure that you're entering on the right confirmation, wait to see that impulse to the downside. That large candle to the downside. If it breaks this and comes down and closes below, by closes below, I mean it needs to do this. This candle needs to be not weak. It can't be weak. It needs to be
finish forming.
Yeah, it needs to finish forming and be outside. This body has to be outside it, and it needs to be outside it, as in like a large candle outside it, like this, before you can enter. So the next candle forming is what you want to enter your price, your market as. So that's telling you that that's your C. So if you have identified your C, see what number it is. If it retrace at your 38, then one way you can find your TP is to come back to this what's it called? This rectangular shape. Then draw your box from top. See what I'm doing? Draw your box from top.
Rectangular shape. I missed that.
So I'm going to do that again. Let me delete that. These rectangles are always difficult to delete once you draw them. Okay. So now, let's assume the price turned back at this point. It formed that big bearish candle. It dropped with that bearish momentum. We know that this is where our C is. Yep. Why? Because it didn't go back up. It formed that last candle. It formed the next candle. So we enter the market now. We are in the market now. We want to find our TP. Our TP, pick your rectangle tool, this tool here. Seen it?
Yeah. Okay.
Pick that rectangle tool. And now draw your rectangle from the top of that Fibonacci, of the highest point of that Fibonacci, and drag it down to that point where you notice your C, where your C was, where the market turned back at.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's a bit like the zone, but without using the feed.
Yeah. So you just pick it from there, from that up, from that A to that C. Look, call it like that, from your A to your Z. Your C being where it turned back at, your A being the highest point.
Yep.
Have you gotten that?
Yes.
So when that has done, click it, double click it, and then bring it down. Bring it down. Let the top be from that C.
Okay.
From that 38.
Draw your rectangular shape.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Hello.
We need to call
Hello.
them tomorrow. Yeah. PT. The internet just keeps going on. It's been going off all day.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay. So we measure it, we take it, we've already measured it from A to C, right? So that
Yeah.
measurement will bring it down to C. So wherever it is our target. Now, if you look at this, where do you see? It got to our 61.8, right?
Yeah.
Extension. And that coincides with a zone here. You see?
So all you have to do is just see the zone there and highlight it too.
You don't need to highlight this zone. I'm just showing you this. Once you have
Okay.
highlighted this one, that's your TP.
Okay.
I was just trying to show you that it coincides with the value. It means it's relevant. So what we're waiting, what we're looking for, this will be target. Your target will be this line, 1.60340. Why? Because look at the length now. It's from here. It's that's your rectangle that you drew all the way from here to here.
Yeah.
And so you just put it and bring and
Oh, now this is, I see why you measure. I think, I can't remember when we had that session and you were measuring, taking the middle and
yeah,
measuring.
exactly. So that's where it turned back at. So I know that from here, I can draw that rectangle from up here to that here. That will be the size of the rectangle will be my TP. So it means if it comes back here, my TP will be at this point. That point where the bottom of the rectangle got to, which will be for how much? 34 pips. So I can decide to take my profit there because I know that when it gets here, it's going to react.
Yes.
It's going to have a reaction, probably back or something. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because if you look left, what does it do? It even coincides with a zone here.
Yeah.
It coincides with a zone, and every time it will react. It won't just move. Sometimes it would break it. Sometimes it will just react. Capish?
Yeah. I
Okay.
need to practice this Fibo. Where we do?
You need to
Well, if
practice it. So you need to practice it. That's one. Now the next one we can see, because we have drawn the extension, we are saying that oh you you know say your camera there, we are saying you are touching your husband.
I haven't seen my husband all day. You know, cause I mean, I know you are blind. No, I beg you. No worry.
Anyways, so now two things can happen for this price because we drew that extension. That extension is supposed to tell us where our prices get to. One of the places that they got we saw here is that the 61.8,
Yeah.
which coincides with this one. The next one is my 100, which probably coincide with somewhere here. Another one here.
Yeah.
61. So this will be my areas of take profits, my target zones. This is where I'll take. I can be taking profits intermittently, or I just let it run all the way to this last place. 1.59785.
785.
So I could do that, but most times I don't let my profit run that high. Go that far. I take it intermittently. And when it pulls back again, I repeat the same exercise. I wait for where I can see C. Now, if it comes back at this point, remember what happens. It means you have to draw your Fibonacci again from where it retraced. Where will your A? Your A will be this point.
The previous.
Yeah, the previous C will be your A. Your B will be where price, or your D will be where price retraced at, where price pulled back at, where price got to before making a reaction. That will be your B. Your C will be where price got to. Now let me show you again. I know it might sound confusing. Hold on, you won't get confused. Let me. Which one do I delete now? Let me delete this rectangle. Oh, not that one. Let's delete one. Let's delete it. Delete the flag. Delete the down. Delete this. Then delete this. So now I have my A here, right? I have my B. Now I have my B here.
No.
But this because I assume that now my assumption is that price got here. This was where I took my profit at. Yep. This is my assumption. This is where price to. You know, I now did my take profit, and I know that price not got me here. Or maybe price got me here. Let's say where the rectangle got to. Let's use where the rectangle got to. This is where my rectangle got to. That will be my D. Agreed? That's my D, meaning that's where my take profit was. I need you to understand. Remember, we drew that line from here to here.
Yes.
And then we picked it rectangle. We picked it.
And put it on C.
There. Yeah, and put it on C. This was supposed to be here. We'll put it on C. So it means my TP was here, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is where my TP was. Capish? So now I will delete this. Let me take this rectangle, horizontal rectangle. So now this C here will now be A. Why my A? Because that's now my highest.
Yes.
That's the highest of that I'm going to delete all the Fibonacci so that I can draw another one. That's now the highest my price got to. That's where I want to start measuring from now. And where will be my B? My B will be the lowest point. The lowest point is also my take profit. To also be my target place. That's my lowest point now. I'm now looking for my D. My D will now be, my C. My C will be where my pullback. Next pullback. My next one, because I picked it now, assuming the market has moved up from here now, right? So I'm now looking for my C now. The reason why you're not, probably might not be because we are not the market move. Okay, maybe I should look for more active. Delete this. Delete this. The reason why I like this trade is because fresh.
Are you still in it?
Which one is that? Eurocard? No, I left it. I left it long ago. So now look at this. Let me look for somewhere else. Let me look for a bullish market. Okay, let me look for use this one because at least I can see some reactions. I was trading this. This is my high, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And this is my low. This one here. Change the color again so that I can. Maybe I use a crimson. This is my low. Where is it? This one here is my low. Yep. This is where price got to. This is where price started from. Okay. That's my A. All right. Because that is where the highest point.
Is that for the size of the letter?
Sorry, that's for the size. Yeah. Just increase the size. So that's my A is the highest point market. My B is the lowest point. Which I identified using this line. So but I need to use this B as well for better understanding. And my C would be where price retraced to. Where price retraced to. This is it. This is where price retraced to. Why is it? Why do I say it's where price retraced? Because look at it. That it got to that high. It couldn't go higher than that.
And then it turned around.
Now remember what I told you about large candle. Look at that large candle.
Yes.
Yeah. After that, did you see a larger candle more? You see, you saw a larger candle as well, right? So that's to tell you, you need to always look for a large candle. You know, this candle is not large enough.
So that's where the large candle is now. You move your C to that large candle.
Wait now. I've not gotten there. This is C. The C is where the retracement got to, or the pullback got to. Remember, we find A, the highest, find B, the lowest, and we look for C. C we don't know. Why do we? What do we don't know? C. We now use Fibonacci. Draw from A
to B.
Yeah. Now this will now tell us where our C will get to. And if you look at this, our C was so stubborn. It left the 23, left 30, left the 50, and where did it turn back at? It got to the 61.8. And we know that, remember the rule I said, as long as this thing does not come and take out this high, it is still a valid retracement. I want you to write that down. As long as your C does not come out and take out your A, it's still a valid pullback or retracement. So it comes down, it's going back up, it's going back up. As long as this price doesn't come back this line, you can still keep it as a valid pullback. So we wait for the, but then we are not in the market anyway. There's no rush. We just wait to watch back up. It didn't drop to this point. It now started back up. So we draw Fibonacci, where it's going to get to. We saw that it moved in 3, we are not worried. It left 23, 38, we are not worried. We left 50, we are like, why is it going too far? It went to 61. What's happening? But we are not even still worried why we are not in market yet. But what did it do? At that point, it dropped. Because if you go to your lower time frame, you start seeing from that point, you see? You see smaller candles. So let's go back to that.
So the fib, what's the best time frame to look at when using it?
You can use your fib on any time frame.
Okay.
You can use it on any time frame. But remember what I always say: the higher your time frame, you read your charts or your price. So this I would have drawn this on my H4, and so if I drawn it on my H4, it got to C, and when it got to C, what did it do? It dropped. It dropped. I'm not concerned because this is not my candle. I waited for this candle. And when I saw this candle, when immediately the candle coming, I jumped in. And when I jumped in, I caught the market. Look, this was my market. 94 pips. 91. Okay, is it? Yeah, 93. So that was my TP. Why? Because I decided to take my profit. Why? Because I started noticing reaction as well. If you look left as well, look at that area, reaction. Or I wouldn't have only to wait till I start noticing reaction. I will look left first to see where did it get to. Where am I noticing reaction? It's here. So I will take my profit somewhere around here. You see? Remember what I talked about, find zones. So you need to have identified all your zones so that even though you use your Fibonacci would always coincide with the zones that you have created. Look at this one. It coincides with that zone. Yep. So this is by C. Now that's C. Because it's at the 61, I don't want to draw. If I draw I can draw my rectangle again. Because it's at the 61, I draw my rectangle from up to that point. I can still do that, but then the TP will not be too much. It will be very small. So I can decide not to use this one anymore. So if I draw my rectangle from up to, I will still make profit, but it won't be enough for me. Yep.
I like the way you said it won't be enough.
So you see, it came. This is where it got to, but look at where. Okay, this is where the market pulled back at. I wouldn't even start the market from here, so this renders is invalid. So what happens now? At this point now, you want to do two things. Remember the flag. Draw your flag, and let this move. Take it up. So immediately you now see this candle break out of your flag, closes below, then you jump and then trade it to the downside. So if you see this going up, just draw your flag and follow it. Follow it. It may have started here, so draw your flag, follow it. Don't do anything till you see a large candle fall out. So if you see that large candle fall out, you jump into the market. If it closes below, you jump into the market. And then take your profit at the next zone that you have previously identified. Remember, you identified zones with using your high frames and then you found out where prices are turning back. This is a key place that we saw price turn back. So if this thing was coming now, I would take profit at this point, at this zone, and I'm taking my profit here before it even. So now I'm out of here. My next point of call now will be here. This I don't know yet. I know my A now. What is my A? It is where my C was.
Hello?
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm trying to get this. A will be here, where my C is. What will be my B? My B will be where my TP got to. Yep. So now, what am I looking for? My C. So again, I pick my Fibonacci. I draw it from my A. I bring it down to my B. And I say, okay, oh yeah, show me my C. Lucky enough, this did not even get to 23. This is where it gave me my C. Before what again? Large candle. Large candle. Assuming I drew my trend flag. Yep.
Yeah. And then
then I would trade, enter my candle to the next zone, which would be here. Take my profit at how much? 96 pips.
90. Or is it 96?
Yeah, 90. From here now, if you entered from here, it's even 98 pips. Yeah. Now, how did I know that's where my price is gonna be? Look left. Look at reaction here. Price go here, and look at, even I've already identified this line here. You see, so I'm out of the market already. When I start seeing it start having reaction, I'm out of the market. But it had a reaction, came back down. So by this point, I'm already out of the market, because right now, what did you see? You start seeing reversal.
Then.
So the same thing that you do on your higher time frame, on your bearish, or your bullish, the same thing. So on recap, first of all, identify. I'm gonna take this out. First of all, identify your higher time frame. High. Go here. Excuse me. Let me bring this here. Higher time frame. Then line chart, so as to see the chart clearly. Find out where's the lowest point the price got to. Yeah, this one here. I can use this, or I can even use this. Let me use this one since I see something here. I see something here. I see something here. Your next zone will be maybe somewhere here. Remember, you're in the weekly, so yeah, it's valid for you to use those ones. So I see that. Why? Because I see this nearing here. Yeah. I see that.
Can you use the fib on this line chart thingy?
Well, you can also use it, but then line chart is just a guide.
Yeah.
What you're really looking for is your main, because in your Fibonacci, your wicks are important as well. Not only your body, because your wicks will always tell you where the price got to, or where it got to as a high, or where it got to as a low. But your line chart doesn't include your wicks. So I can identify another one here. Why? Because I see some form of reaction somewhere here. Maybe, yeah, somewhere here I see reaction. I see reaction. I can pick some more around here. Maybe around here. Around here. Why? Because there's something happening here. Something. I can now go to maybe the higher, where this one got to. It broke this. So this could have even been a false breakout, but it doesn't matter. I will capture it. Capture this, because I can see something happening here too. So areas. Why? Because I see this, I see reaction around here, I see that, So, but in the end, they might even feel as if we want to draw too many lines, but it doesn't matter, because you're on the higher time frame now, so it's fine, even if you have loads of line, because these are places that you can take profit at. So you always want to make sure that you identify them. I can see that, I can do that too. It's fine, I can still do this. Because on the higher time frame, if I can see as many like this, it's absolutely fine. By the time I move down, they're going to bring it down. So I see that.
It reduces as it moves down, doesn't it?
Yeah, Yeah.
I see all
So
of
like,
this now, so I'm happy. I can confirm. I'm confident with all this support resistant thing.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think I
Now,
just need to get confident in the the rectangle. What do you call it?
the Fibonacci. Now you don't have to trade Fibonacci
I don't.
if you're struggling with it. That's why I
Mm,
showed you price action. Yep.
yeah.
Because price will always break, do a retest. Look at what happened here. It broke
Yeah.
this, retest,
Right,
and then jump.
yeah.
Broke this, did a retest and jump. Broke this, did a retest and jump. Broke this, did a retest. That's why I'm even identifying them as key zones. Wherever they break and retest, that's your zone where you have to take into consideration. Now, if I bring this, if I bring this to the lower time frame, I can see this one now. You know, this when price is place is coming down. When price leaves, where is it coming to? It's coming down. When
Wow.
price leaves here, I can even see some another
Looks
reaction
like
here.
it's coming down.
Eh?
It looks like it's coming down again.
Yeah, it's supposed. That's I'm not looking at waiting for this thing to really come down, but it's just really stalling. You know, so I'm waiting for this to come to this zone, waiting for it to come to. In short, this for this one, it's going to be a massive win if it does move, because look at that move, that move to the upside and the retracement and that. So we expect that to do the same thing
Yeah.
all the way from there, all the way from here to
Down.
this point as well.
1 5 whatever. I can't see it.
Yeah, it's because I'm using this. Let me change the color.
15527 or is it 1557?
No, well, I'll change the color. So that's it. 1.55283. 1.55283. So, but then I'm expecting it to go through all of these places.
To
Price
stop
action.
at 15.
It will stop at all of this. I put of the. Let me change the colors. Let me so you can see them.
Yes, that one. That's the one I was.
So I'm gonna change colors so you can see them. So it's gonna go through all of these places. You know, it might even come as low as this. You know, the lowest points of the chart. You know, if it does happen. Jump in. I'm gonna wait to see some form of momentum. Remember what we're looking for. What are we looking for?
Drop down?
A
What?
large candle.
A large candle. Oh.
We need to see
Yeah.
a large candle fall from a zone. It needs to fall. A large bearish candle fall from here. You know. So if it falls, a large bearish candle, we can jump in on the next candle falling, or we can wait for a pullback to happen. When that pullback happens, that's our remember that flag thing. You need to do a flag and then you wait for that. You're still in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're still in it, there's no problem. So that's you. It's good. You cannot take your profit at these zones. Yep. So once you take profit, you know the pattern now. Once it breaks this zone, it needs to come back and retest. So you would naturally will have gotten out of this market when you probably got here if you would want to trade like that. You know, gotten out of the market. Then when it retests, you again.
Then you enter again.
You enter again, and it brings you back to this place. Let me see how many pips this would always be. We already seen 200 plus pips. So when it breaks that retest, then we enter for another 92 pips, 94 pips. Then we get out again and wait for that move. It breaks that. We are happy. We let it come back and retest again so that we can enter the next zone. So we're just milking.
Like scalping, but
scalping on the time frames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because tomorrow is Friday, I might just do that. I don't feel it. I don't want.
Tomorrow is
I'm not over-leveraging. I'm only doing one trade at a time, so I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I try to do as well. Except maybe I'm too I'm too confident of a particular trade that I do more than one. But that's what we're looking for. So immediately it does another break. We know what we're doing. This is all market structure action. So it breaks and retraces, and then we enter again. We take it to the next zone. We just keep trading it like that, or we can even let it run by itself if we are confident that it's going to go, but market is not promising. So that's why we have to be wise, have to be sharp. So we do that, or we can, every time it moves, we move our stop loss and secure it here. Every time it moves, move our stop loss and bring it here. Every time it moves down, we move our stop loss here, and then it will let it run, we move our stop loss. Just keep following it with our stop loss. So when that happens again, we're going to wait for this to do another pullback to this side if it does do that. And then when it pulls back to that place, we enter again and then we write it down.
Yeah.
So you can just follow price action, market structure, no Fibonacci. Just use your flag that you know. Wait, when you see price break a zone, draw a flag as it's doing a pullback, draw a flag around it. Draw a flag around it. That's what you want to do. You want to draw a flag. And then what you're waiting for a large candle to break out of it and close below it. Then you enter your next candle.
A large candle.
A large candle has to break that flag and close below it. Then you enter on the next candle. Some people can just say immediately it breaks and it comes back to this place, I will enter the trade because I know it's in a bearish trend. So I will enter it, and they don't just want to catch everything from the beginning. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to call it a night for tonight so that I can my gosh, team back.
Lovey-dovey. Say hello to her. No,
I hope this thing is still recording. Okay, it's still recording. I know that there are some breaks because of that what's it called?
Yeah,
so when I update it, I will send it to you.
Okay, no wahala. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thanks a lot.
We'll
have another session some other time.
Yeah, I think you've just confirmed it. I've been doing it right. It's just the
cool.
The Kilonkwe. Like I said, the zones. I've not really been confident, but I think I was on the right. I'll be sending it there anyway. Yes, I'll be sending it.
Just send it in, and then we can all look at it. And your friend Uju is the queen of zones. She understands supply and demand zones much more. So even if I'm not there, she's gonna send a word or two.
Yeah.
So it's really what it is now. The last point of this thing. Now, how do you identify zones? Zones are identified by large candles. Large candles in a place are like this. It's a supply zone. Why? Because price jumped to this place. This is where this large candle got to. This is the supply zone because it's coming down. Supply is coming down. This will become my demand zone. Why will it be my demand zone? Because this large candle broke out of it. Yeah, it broke out of that place. This will be my demand zone. It broke out of it. This is my demand zone. So where it got to will now be my supply. The same thing here. Look at that large candle. It broke into it. This will be my demand zone. Remember, because the large candle coming down. Every time you see a large candle breaking out of its zone, look at this. It broke out of that zone. That's the demand. It's a golfing candle. It broke out of that zone. That's the demand zone. Wherever it goes will be your supply zone. Yep. So wherever it broke out from will be a supply zone. For the bullish, for the bearish, wherever it broke out from will be a supply zone. Wherever it got to be your demand zone. It's like the opposite.
Sell, buy, sell, buy.
Okay. So start another class. I would talk some other time.
Yeah. Have you heard of Aaron? I know you're doing Aaron. I know you're going now. Aaron. Indicate, sir?
Aaron.
Arun.
Oh, Oran.